Yeah, Florida State. I know we touched on Florida State a bit last time, but I wanted a little bit more about, the talent level there overall coming through the transfer portal. Of course, when Mike Norvell has hit it big, it's been because of the Keon Colemans and the Jared Verses and the Braden Fisks of the world. And their high school recruiting has not been stellar. Florida State. Now they bring in Thomas Castellanos. And of course, Jordan Travis was a big hit in the transfer portal. DJ Uyangalele, not so much. And that was just a putrid offensive performance last year. So how do you project Castellanos with a really good offensive coordinator in Gus Malzahn and Florida State getting back to where they expect to be?
Yeah, and remember, Castellanos was actually recruited by Malzahn at UCF. So he is the perfect quarterback for this offense. And, he didn't fit the Boston College offense last year. Now, I do believe he fits in great with Malzahn's offense. And you look at this team. I did a thing on philsteele.com about homegrown teams. And I think teams that bring in freshmen and develop them to seniors are going to be better off this year. But as you touched on, Mike Norvell has hit some home runs in the transfer portal like he did in both 22 and 23 when they won 10 and 13 games. And I think he's hit some home runs this year. I think the danger of having a transfer portal heavy team is what happened last year to Florida State, which is once things started to go bad, things went bad. And maybe there wasn't that team atmosphere, the team cohesion. But what we see with Florida State this year, they're going to get off to a much better start. I do expect them to lose to Alabama, but beating an East Texas A&M, Kent State at Virginia, this team's not going to be 0-3 to start the year. They're going to be 3-1 when they host Miami of Florida. That's a big game. If they beat Miami, look at the rest of the schedule, Mark. Home against Pitt, they would be favored. At Stanford, favored. Wake Forest, favored. You can come a lot of games down the stretch where they'd be favored, and I do think there'll be a dog at Clemson and at NC State. But this is Florida State team that I think is going to have the biggest jump in record this year. They only won 2 games last year. I think they can win 8, potentially even 9 games this year. If they beat Miami on October 4th, I'd put them in the ACC contender role. If they don't beat Miami, it'll be a much improved year for Florida State. But keep your eyes on this team. I'm really intrigued by October the 4th.